What is an RRSP, retirement savings plan? How does it work? What's the point of it? What's the real big benefit? Is there any? How does it affect your taxes? Is my money locked in? What are some of the fees I may have to pay? Hey everyone, Kadeem here. Today we're talking about RRSPs, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who might find it beneficial. RRSPs, retirement savings plans, they get a bad rap. And I'm not here to say they're either good or bad. I'm just here to give you some information on it. Alright, so strap in and let's get this going. So what is a retirement savings plan, an RRSP? Right? What is the big benefit to it? Well, it depends on your situation, to be honest with you. Number one, and I would say the biggest benefit to it is it reduces your taxable income. Right? We're in RRSP season. What does that mean? Right now, up until March 1st, right now you can contribute into your RRSP if you have room, and it reduces last year's taxable income. Meaning it reduces the taxes you have to pay. If you made $100,000, you put in $10,000 into your RRSP, you're only taxed as a $90,000 income earner for last year, right? So you have up until March 1st this year to be able to contribute to your RRSP so that it can reduce your taxable income for last year. RRSP season happens every year. So that's one of the main benefits, is it reduces your taxable income. It reduces your tax bracket potentially depending on how much you contribute and where you fall in the tax spectrum in terms of your tax bracket. Now, yes, it reduces your taxable income. And the reason that a lot of people contribute to their retirement savings plan is, one, like I said, because of that. But another reason is because the whole idea behind it is if you're at a high tax bracket now, you want to contribute to your RRSP so that it lowers your tax bracket, and then you want to withdraw it later on. Typically people say retirement when you're at a lower tax bracket because you have no income coming in, you're only using your investments. So you're technically supposed to be at a lower tax bracket when you retire. The average person, most people, that's how it works. And that's why they say to contribute to an RRSP, retirement savings plan, because it lowers your tax bracket now. And because you're at a high tax bracket, because you're paying so much in taxes, it reduces your taxable income so that later when you have little taxable income from other sources, you can withdraw from your RRSP and pay less in taxes. So essentially what you're doing is you're deferring your taxes for later. It's not tax-free. It's not like a TFSA, tax-free savings account. It's not tax-free. It is tax deferred. You will pay taxes on this money when you withdraw it at some point in the future. Right now, as long as you don't withdraw it, you put the money in, it grows tax deferred. And as long as the money is in there, you do not pay taxes. Now that brings me to the contribution room. As long as the money is in that account and it's not over your maximum allowable contribution limit, then you don't pay taxes. If you do contribute over your taxable limit or over your contribution limit, then you will pay 1% tax every month for every dollar that you're over. And the reason I say that is because 2020 and 2021, it was about $27,000 that you can contribute. That's the maximum, right? So they set two different numbers here. One of them is 18% of your taxable income. So you can contribute up to 18% of your taxable income up to a limit of $27,000 in 2021. In 2020, it was $27,000 as well, and some change, of course. But that is the contribution limit. Now, if you have unused contribution room from previous years, you can use that now. For example, if this year you were able to contribute, let's say $27,000, and last year you didn't use up all of your room, you had an extra $10,000 available, now you can contribute $37,000 this year, reducing your income by $37,000. Is the money locked in? Well, no, it's not locked in, depending on which type of account you have. But if you just have a regular RRSP, retirement savings plan, no, it's not locked in. You can withdraw it whenever you want to, but you may be penalized. If you withdraw the money before retirement, you're going to pay something called withholding tax on top of the taxes you would pay anyway. So if you withdraw $5,000, you're going to pay 10% of taxes. If you withdraw between $5,001 to $15,000, you're going to be paying 20% taxes. If you withdraw $15,001 and up, you're going to be paying 30% withholding tax. Now, these numbers are not including the taxes you're going to pay based on your marginal tax rate, based on where you live, based on how much you pay in taxes on your income. because whatever you withdraw is going to be seen as taxable income for the following year when you actually file your taxes. So withholding tax is completely separate. It's an extra charge on top if you withdraw before retirement. Now, who qualifies for a retirement savings plan? Well, anybody who is 18 years of age and below the age of 71, who is a resident of Canada, meaning you have a social insurance number and you pay your taxes in Canada. You are a resident of Canada for tax purposes. And the reason you really have to be below the age of 71 is because when you do turn 71, this turns into something called a RIF, Registered Retirement Income Fund. So now what happens is you're going to have to start taking money, payments from your retirement savings plan, which is now changed into a RIF, and there's a minimum amount you have to take. Right? The first year you don't have to make a withdrawal, but the second year you have to start making at least the minimum withdrawal. There's charts online which explain what that minimum amount is. You can take a higher amount, but again, it's taxable income to you. Now, there are two other ways that you can potentially get your money out of your retirement savings plan without having to pay taxes. One of them is called the home buyer's plan. The other one is the lifelong learner's plan. Now, the lifelong learner's plan, you can take up annually, you can withdraw $10,000 to a lifetime maximum of $20,000. Now, you have to start paying back the lifelong learner's plan, the money into your RRSP, after 5 years. That's when you have to start paying it back, and you have 10 years to actually pay it off. In this case, you will not be charged any taxes as long as you do make your payments and pay it back over the course of the 10 years. Now, for the home buyer's plan, you can withdraw up to $35,000 per individual from your RRSP, your retirement savings plan. Now you have to pay it back, right? You have to start paying back after 2 years. They give you a 2-year grace period, but then you have to start paying it back, and they give you a schedule essentially of when you got to make your payments, and it has to be paid off within 15 years. Again, you're not taxed, but once you miss your payments, you don't pay. If it's not paid off within that time frame, you will be penalized. You will pay taxes on it. So those are two of the ways that you can get your money back without really having to pay taxes, right? You can access or use the money, the funds in the account, without necessarily having to pay taxes. And then you put the money back in, right? You're essentially putting it back into your own account. That's really what you're doing. And lastly, let's talk about the Spousal RRSP, Spousal Retirement Savings Plan. And I just want to give a quick disclaimer again. I'm not recommending anybody to get an RRSP, to not get an RRSP. This is strictly informational. You do with the information what you want to do, but I recommend reaching out to somebody like me to sit down and get more personalized information. So typically people would open up a spousal RRSP based on the fact that there's a big disparity in income between the spouses. So if one spouse, if spouse A, for example, has $250,000 income every year, and spouse B only has, let's say, $50,000, right? Spouse A can be a contributor to the retirement savings plan, the spousal RRSP, and spouse B can really be the annuitant, right? The one who's going to receive the benefit and who will have to pay taxes based on when anything's withdrawn. That gives spouse A a reduction in their taxes when they file for taxes because they're contributing to the spousal RRSP. But then it's also filling up the room of spouse B, the contribution room. So that way spouse A can have less of an income so that they pay less in taxes. All right, so that's just a quick rundown of RSPs and kind of the way they work, some of the potential benefits in it. Again, this is all just information, and it's not even the full scope of the information. This is really just kind of raising the surface. So sit down with a professional, reach out to me, however you want to go about it, but do your research before you open up an RRSP, before you open up any type of account, because there's a lot out there. If you don't really know what's out there, how do you know what's best for you? So hopefully that was helpful for someone. Kadeem here, everyone. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay blessed.